And we are live on a frigid. This house is a frigid. I was going to wear my Under Armour tonight. But another beautiful Tuesday night. Kurt Valenti, Jennifer Valenti, all in on high school sports. How are you?
I'm well. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, big night. Big night of college sports, college hoops, NBA. I'm fired up. And we got some high school sports going on. Before we get to tonight's show, we got comments.
The trifecta of sports: high school, college, and professional.
We got a little of everything going on tonight. You know, thank God for iPads. Thank God for TVs. I mean, we're ready to roll. Couple comments tonight. Mr. Kirkpatrick, co-host of the K&K Sports Show. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the best high school sports talk show, not in Jersey, he's saying on earth.
Thanks, Kenny.
Coach Breslin is saying, you know what? I knew it. I knew I forgot something. If we can get her a screen, I'm gonna get that sweatshirt because I'm gonna hear him all night.
Next week. I forgot to remind him.
You forgot to remind me.
He didn't wear his all-in shirt. Yep.
And I'm getting all over the place. Coach Breslin saying, "Good evening. Looking forward to another great show." Meaning with Mr. Ramapo over there. You know what? I'm going to blame you.
Yeah, of course.
I forgot my wedding ring and my sweatshirt tonight. I'm 0 for 2. Let's see what I forgot on the computer tonight.
We can only go up from here.
So what we got on the agenda tonight?
So tonight we are going to welcome 2 different high school lacrosse programs to the show. We're going to start with the West Essex Girls Lacrosse Program. We'll be joined by Coach Bettina, I don't want to mispronounce her name, Plesnitzer. I knew her as her maiden name, Mia Newley, with one of her assistant coaches, Gianna D'Urso, who we welcome back. We had her on in the fall for West Essex. Two-time
on the show, huh?
And they will be joined by one of their players, Molly Simon. And then later on in the evening, we will host Dave Gallucci, who is the coach of the Mount Olive boys lacrosse team.
And we're also going to we have 3 topics we're going to hit up tonight.
Hopefully
you and
we'll
I.
get to them all. Yep.
And I, and we're going to see if the audience wants to chime in. I found nice 3 little topics for us to discuss tonight. All right, so let's get going here. Let's go.
We have our first guests in the waiting room, so I will let them in and get them situated with us. All right, so let's see who we have. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show, everyone. Nice to see you guys. Let me officially introduce you to our audience. I gave a brief intro. We have joining us, I have to say, Coach Plesnitzer. You might win with the virtual background. Nicely done. Welcome to very, very impressive. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. And she's joined by her assistant coach, Gianna D'Urso, and junior captain, Molly Simon. So on a special note, I have to tell you that I coached both Bettina and Gianna as basketball players. So this is a little, love them as athletes.
Well, that's great, because one of my I hope one of my rapid fires are going to be able to answer. That's off script, so we'll see.
There we go. I just put you guys on the spot.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Can I start off?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to start off. I'm going to start with Coach Plez, because I don't know. I'm bad with names, so I don't want to screw it up. So I'm going to go Coach Plez. I heard that's what the girls call you. So is it okay to call you Coach Plez?
Yes, it's difficult, so that's perfect.
All right, we're going to stay with that. All right, so West Essex has a strong tradition of a great lacrosse program. Can you talk a little bit about the tradition and where you want to even take the program further now that you're the head coach?
Sure. I'm so fortunate to be leading the program now and have a fantastic staff and support from our admin team and the families within the community. It makes our life easy when we have girls who are committed and who are passionate. The long lines of tradition were always to build strong and successful young women and send them out into the world to just conquer anything that they set their minds to. Losing a whole season last year, we're so eager to get the girls back together. But as far as, where we hope to go, we had a pocket of years where we were the top in the state, rallying in county championships, sectional championships, state championships, and getting back up to that tier of play. Having the girls committing to year-round lacrosse. The game has grown exponentially. and just continuing to breed that success. We always have multi-sport athletes, which is fantastic. We continue to support them in every avenue. And like I said, we're just really eager to get back out on the field this year and see what we have and moving forward.
Nice, Coach. You mentioned again the history of the program. You guys have, if I'm not mistaken, 3 Group 2 championships in the 2000s. And Coach D'Urso, you were a member of the 2009 team, if I'm not mistaken. So if you kind of piggyback off of what Coach Plesnitzer had said, you guys always have there's a lot of really strong teams in northern New Jersey, and you guys really have a tough schedule. I always feel like that record is not indicative given the type of competition that you're seeing. So I was wondering if you could just speak a little bit to, as a former player, knowing what that competition is like and the caliber of player that you need to breed at West Essex to compete. And then if you guys are again this year in that ultra competitive conference.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was a senior, we had won the Group 2 state championship and went on to the TOC championship, which was amazing. But I think basically we had our mindset on that that was our goal and that's where we were going and we weren't going to settle for anything less. But the thing is our I always said this to coaches when in college too, if you recruit, just go to the tri-state area, just go to North Jersey. Like the top teams in the state are all, not all from North Jersey, but, Summit, Chatham, Mendham, like West Mountain Lakes, like all, and even so much more. It's grown so much since then because I think girls are getting their hands in their stick at such an earlier age. But I definitely think we always had challenging seasons. Like my senior year, we had lost to Mendham, Chatham, and Summit all in our season, and then we went on to beat all 3 of them back to back in our state run to win the state championship. So it was kind of crazy there, but I think playing against such strong competition just makes you better because you're learning from it, you're growing from it, you're seeing what they're doing, what works, what doesn't. If you just go into an easy game, sometimes that's not going to always challenge you and make you better. So it's always exciting to kind of face those challenges. And for this year, Bettina, I don't know if you want to speak a little bit about the conference, but we definitely have a challenging schedule set for us. We're excited, and we start off with a challenging couple of scrimmages, which is amazing because, it's going to test the girls. We want a challenge. You don't want to go into a season and know that every game is going to be a blowout. If you're an athlete and you're a high caliber athlete, you want that challenge for sure.
Nice.
My question is for Molly. By the way, before I get to Molly, our good friend Eddie Siciliano saying good evening. So
hello,
Sis is checking
Sis.
in. Molly, you play as a freshman, and then obviously last year there's no season. So you go from a freshman now right to a junior, but not just a junior captain. How has that jump been from a freshman to a captain, and what are some things that you think you're going to do a little different now that you're going to have more of that leadership role?
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty cool. Last year, before the season, off season, I was working really hard because I was coming off a really big, strong freshman year. And I knew the next year, my sophomore year, it was going to be really important. I was going to be a leader on the field because I was more experienced. And having that season taken away just kind of like pushed me to even work harder. And I never really stopped working. And I think like I'm up for the challenge completely. Like when I was named captain right away, I knew I was up for the challenge. I knew I had a bunch of girls looking up to me. And it's really an awesome role to have and have younger girls like look at you as a role model. So I think it's challenging right now. Like I'm a junior, I'm only 16. So it's like, kind of weird, but it's really exciting to know like you have a group of mentors and coaches who like notice all your hard work and dedication to the sport. So I know I have a really good group of girls and leaders behind me. So I'm really excited for the challenge.
Awesome.
That's very nice. Coach Plez, I'm gonna interject a question that I didn't have before we're going off script already. So really quickly, because Coach D'Urso had kind of touched upon it a little bit. You guys are still playing in the NJGILL conference, is that correct? North Jersey Girls. Yes. And now the last season that you were in the Stars and Stripes division, is that correct? I know it's amazing how that conference has grown. I mean, the sheer size, it's just like every team, and it's a sport that's still growing. It's just absolutely amazing. I just looked at the list, and it's just like I kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You know, I think we used to have 3 divisions when I first started coaching. So now this year, will you be in that same division? Because I know sometimes they do like a sliding scale. They realign constantly. You know, good or bad, no opinion.
So for maybe like 6 to 8 seasons, my first couple years back coaching under Jill, we were in that top tier with the best of the best when they had just realigned things. And we had some seasons we were 500, we were above 500, but again, we rallied and pushed to stay there because like G said, we wanted to always seek the best competition. We scheduled the toughest scrimmages to prepare us for that cutthroat season with 3 to 4 games a week of back-to-back with scouting and film, and did everything that we could to prepare our girls to constantly push them and challenge them, because we really felt that we grew and we learned so much from those defeats against those super tough teams that would prepare us for our state run. So we have slid down 1 division as of 2 years ago, but again, due to the growth of all of the programs around us, we are still seeking to play the top competition and surrounded by so many great competitors. And our county is super, super competitive with Montclair and Glen Ridge. Our scrimmages of Mountain Lakes and Bernards and Randolph will kick off the season on the right foot. And we're in that Stars and Stripes division.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if it had changed. I know, I wasn't sure if missing last season, if they just kind of would have kept things the same and how that was going to work.
Yeah, they did.
Year. Okay. Now going back to 2018-19, talking about your roster a little bit, it seems like you had like maybe 4 freshmen that played like a really pivotal role on that team, and a group of sophomores who will now be your juniors and seniors. So I was wondering if you could highlight some of your returning players and the role that they'll have for you.
Yes, so it's crazy to like Molly and Gianna Poro and Hallie Aschenbach and Kate Lutz, who were pivotal players for us on the field, just those raw, natural athletes. Molly has dedicated, and her primary sport is lacrosse. Like she said, she never stopped. But the others that I mentioned are also multi-sport athletes, but more field hockey focused. But you put them on the field and they'll just fight for you. So as freshmen, they did their job and they showed up every day and they were fearless. And they showed and taught those seniors so much. And the seniors who were experienced brought that composure and taught them those lessons that they needed in those moments of pressure. And they were able to take the ball in their hands, but let the little ones kind of just do what they needed to do and experiment and just give their best at all times. So I just, like you said, it's so weird to hear and say that they're juniors. And my heart breaks for those seniors last year that did not have that opportunity to finish out their career the way they should have. And the developmental role as a sophomore, I think, is huge. But these guys, I know, have faith, like Molly said, are ready to step up to the challenge. And luckily, we're all in the same boat. Every program is going to deal with the same struggles and the same excitement to get back out there. But those 4 freshmen were super impactful players. Even last year, we had C.L. McInerney, we had Olivia Sabato, we had Gianna Macrino, who were going to be impact players for us. And right out of the gates in preseason, they had really impressed us with their hard work and their knowledge of the game. And they were just sponges, and they every day wanted to improve and were pushing those upperclassmen to get better. So we're a little light on the senior class. I think it's our smallest class. Our junior class has a ton of killer athletes. And again, we have freshmen who are coming in that have missed a whole year of rec and that haven't played since that lower level, that we're just eager to mold them as quickly as we can to get them ready for the super competitive high school league that they're going to be stepping into.
Every time we speak to a coach, I always get something that I haven't thought of. Like you made me think of, again, those youth players missing that year, that pivotal. We always say the pivotal year, but that youth kid coming into high school. I mean, you're right. I haven't thought of that. That's a big year for them to miss too. Yep, very good point.
Coach D'Urso, without giving any secrets away, because we never know who's watching, can you just explain a little bit about the style of play of what you guys want as a coaching staff? What kind of style you guys are going to play?
So we use our strengths and we build off of them. And I think our biggest strength is speed and like grit kind of. It's like we love like the scrap plays, the ground balls, like all those hustle stats. And I think we have multi-sport athletes which I love, Coach Ples and I both were multi-sport athletes, and that's amazing. So we have to use those strengths, to our advantage. We have to use our speed. We have to push the ball, and really working on the hustle stats and things like that, because that's what's going to separate. I think that's going to, make such an impact on our season this year. And I think the biggest thing is, all gas, no brakes, just, keep going, keep hustling no matter what. And I think that that kind of style is going to get us far this year for sure, but can't give too much away.
No, absolutely not.
A little teaser.
Yeah, a little teaser.
Molly, my question is for you. Coach had mentioned it, and you did a little as well, how you are a year-round dedicated lacrosse player. I have kind of a two-part question for you. I wanted you to just kind of explain to our audience, like, what does it mean to be committed to the sport in that fashion? And then also, I was wondering if you could touch upon a little bit how, like, your summer and fall showcases maybe were affected due to the COVID circumstances.
Yeah. Okay, so, being an all-around year athlete with lacrosse is definitely hard. I play a fall sport too, so a lot of what happens in the off season for lacrosse is in the fall. So I was like leveling with fall soccer and fall lacrosse, which is obviously a lot of work, but it's really fun. Playing with like a different group of girls on my club team like makes me a better player, I think. Just such hardworking, talented girls I get to play with every week, who have just taught me so much about the game. And I think it's really an awesome experience, to push yourself with the best girls in the country. The girls on my team are just really amazing athletes, so I get to work with them and the girls from West Essex. So it's obviously hard, but I really like it. I don't really like having nothing to do. So, like having a schedule like really full of like, lacrosse events and soccer events is really fun for me. So yeah. And this summer we actually were lucky to have a bunch of tournaments. I think we had 5 or 6. They were in the area, but a bunch of teams were able to play the highest level competition. We even were broadcasted on live TV, which was really nice. No college coaches were allowed to come watch us in the summer or the fall, which made it pretty hard for recruiting. So everything was like really filmed, but you had big like support system behind your back, and all the girls were there for each other. So this fall, with recruiting, you're allowed to start talking to them your junior year, September 1st. So like your fall was really important, and it's kind of hard, just to get everyone to like watch your film, because they don't want to go through with commitments, only seeing you on film, and the dead period just continues to get extended, which makes it hard. But just being able to play just makes me appreciate it more and more every time I step on the field. You never know when it's going to get taken away from you. So every time I've been able to play, I just feel really lucky and appreciate it.
Very nice. Good.
Molly, I'm going to go off script now. And because last week we had RJ Fiore from St. Peter's Prep, baseball player, and he also does the travel teams and the summer teams. So we asked him this question. I want to ask you. You mentioned, obviously, lacrosse and your club program. Is there anybody that you're teammates with, that are your teammates on these club teams, that you play against in your high school season?
Yeah.
How is that?
It's weird. Like my freshman year, a bunch of the girls on my steps team are from Summit, so there was like I think 6 or 7 of them at that game, and it was weird because I play defense on my club team, and I play midfield for West Essex. So they see you on midfield, and I was scoring goals, and like my club coaches Summit too, so that's even weirder. But it's actually really fun, like you obviously like going against them, but like when you're off the field, it's just like really funny. It's like see them in a different environment.
That's interesting. It's
Yep. Got to go from that friend to competitor.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, should we head into a little rapid
Yeah,
fire?
definitely.
All right, Coach D'Urso, you've been through this before. We have a little segment we call rapid fire. So we're going to give some, kind of more quick, fun questions with you guys. So we'll just go, how about in this order? Coach Pless, Coach D'Urso, and then Molly will end with you. Good? So you're up first.
All right. I usually ask it like the best pizza place, but it's either best pizza place or where's your favorite slice of pizza from. Could be anywhere.
Angeloni's in Caldwell.
Good one.
Tony D's in Caldwell.
Dough in Caldwell.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
Doe. I feel
So good.
I've been out of the area for a little while. All right, my one is, this is from a former West Essex, athlete and graduate to all current or former West Essex student athletes. Your favorite West Essex class and or teacher? I don't even know how I would answer this one. I was thinking about it.
It's tough, but I would have to say Lee Oberg and Woodchop.
Nice.
Oh my God, I just had it, and then Mr. Boyd, Holocaust on the side. Best.
Was my runner-up.
Oh my God, that's funny. I actually couldn't. They started that class my senior year of high school, and it was the one class I always wish I took. Yeah.
It was the only, not in a bad way. It was probably one of the only classes I really wanted to be smart in.
Yeah.
Like I was I want him to know I know the answer. I gotta be smart for this.
Mine's probably Miss Ayers and pre-calc this year. So.
Very nice.
All right. The coaches can answer this as a player or as a coach, and obviously Molly's going to answer it as a player. But who is your number one lacrosse fan?
Jeez. It's really tough. I mean, I was so prepared to say Michael Jordan, but we're not talking basketball right now.
Who's a fan of yours? Like who is your fan either that went to a game or talks lacrosse? Who's the number one person who would always either be at your game, talk lacrosse with you,
Supporting
your supporter, your number one lacrosse supporter? I'll ask you like that.
Sorry, my father.
My mom or my dad, they're at everything.
My dad or my grandfather.
Oh, very nice. I love hearing that stuff. All right, you can have a song playing on repeat during pregame. What song is it?
My gosh.
I know Coach Pless is so hard to go first. I'm so sorry.
I'm thinking Sleepyhead by Passion Pit.
Dragula.
I don't really know. I mean, probably something by Coldplay. Yeah.
Nice, very nice.
Oh,
Love it.
Coldplay fans here. Coldplay fans.
I'm looking at my playlist. I don't know.
All right, I got two for you for my last one. Number one's an easy one: Adidas, Under Armour, or Nike.
Nike.
Nike, definitely.
Okay, and number two, you guys, if you you're lucky enough to hit some kind of lottery. What is your dream car, SUV, truck? What is the one thing, if you could buy, regardless of money, your dream car? What would it be?
A Range Rover.
A G-Wagon.
That's mine.
Coach D'Urso, I'm sorry, what was it?
A G-Wagon.
Range Rover, yeah.
Wow, everyone with these Range Rovers in West Essex area.
I remind Kurt every so often that when we do hit the lottery, that's what he's coming home in for me.
Yep.
All right, guys, my last rapid fire. Finish this sentence. Lacrosse success is...
Everybody working together towards a common goal.
I love that.
Gosh, oh God, how do you follow up with that? Lacrosse success is hard work.
Nice.
So cliche.
Lacrosse success is earned
Wow.
by, I don't know, having the people around you push you every day to work
Nice.
harder.
3 awesome
Great answers.
answers.
Great
That's a great
answers.
note.
Job, Mom.
Yeah. Junior captain at her
That's
best.
it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. It was an absolute pleasure to have you. We would love to follow up with you during the season if you guys are available and check in and see how you're doing.
Thank you so much for having us and highlighting our team. We would love to check back in with you. Like I said, we're so eager to be together. It's been a year since our program has been together. I wish it was April 1st now and that our season wasn't delayed a month. But thank you so much. And it was our pleasure to join you.
Awesome.
No, thank you guys. And Coach, great background. No one else is beating that background tonight, I don't think. So, Coach, top notch, Coach.
Well done. All right. Good luck this
Thank
season,
you, guys.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Okay, so Coach Breslin saying great job. Best of luck.
Yep. Good luck to them for sure. Absolutely. A nice interview. A good.
Oh, yeah. 3 great. Again, listen, hopefully we can definitely catch up with them later
absolutely.
on. Best of luck to obviously and again, like a great program, West Essex in general. But
it's funny to think, they're saying they wish they hadn't been delayed a month. As you know, spring sports would be starting this Friday,
right.
The first Friday in March.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's crazy to think that they, have another almost full month to go.
And Mr.
April
Kirkpatrick
1st.
is saying good luck. Well, ood luck, but I think he means good luck. All right, so let's do this before we get our other guest in tonight. I got 3 quick topics I want to go with you, and I want to get to the audience to get them in. Okay, so I'm going to hit you with 3 quick ones.
Okay.
Number 1, and again, this is only sports that have both. Okay, so obviously football is out.
Okay.
But would you rather win a county or a state championship?
Okay. I'm going to start by saying that I would not. I would like to win either championship, so I'm not going to, be picky about which championship I'm lucky enough to win one. So I'm going to preface it with that. I'm going to say, and this is where you and I differ, because I always see the gray, and you're much more black and white. Again,
I am definitely black and white.
Speaking
this or that, boom.
Speaking in again, sports that I've coached, you would have. I'll use my playing experience first. As a county champion in field hockey, at the time, we only had 6 teams in the county, and we did not, at that time, the other 5 teams were not very competitive. So as nice as it was, again, I'm not going to sneeze at a county championship. When we won the Essex County Championships, they actually didn't have it my senior year because nobody wanted to continue to play. So it stopped for a while because there are only 6 teams, and we won it every year. So, that I'd much rather have a state championship. But in some counties, your county is more competitive than, possibly your state tournament bracket. So that could have a little more.
And I think that's what, I'm saying, like, I think where, like you're saying, you could have, I don't know. I don't want to, I'm just saying like basketball. There's, say, a group, you're a group 4 program where you win. Your possibility, but your best competition, like you're saying, might be in your county.
Right.
That's a group 5 school. And, but I don't know. It's just something of where it's state champs. I think it's that
yes,
term of state champs.
Typically, when you hear county versus state, you automatically think state is top tier to county.
Right. But when you think about it, though, like you're saying, okay, Bergen County Jamboree. Really, you're playing, the big schools, the parochial schools. You're playing,
right.
The better young ones. Coach wasn't saying in Bergen County, some may say county because of the competition,
right.
but you still get rings for state champs.
Right, exactly. Well, even our prior guests just made a great point that they would, get prepared in their season and then come, the state tournament, they had to go, that was their conference competition. Come state tournament, they had to see those same teams, or that it's just gearing you up. You're facing this tough conference competition all season, then you might go to your state tournament and not see
it could be too
competitive a team as you saw all season.
It could be too is that you end with the state tournament. Mm-hmm. So it's like your season ends, you're champs, and that's how you're ending it, as opposed to a county tournament that's, See, the thing that's crazy is in baseball, and I remember talking softball, I forgot who we were talking high school softball with it might have been Mondale from West Essex, so we were saying, you basically have to pick in baseball because you're playing a county tournament rolled right into a state tournament. Like when we played, we had a county tournament, say on the weekend, but on Wednesday we have a group 3, semifinal. So when you have one dominant pitcher, I mean, we had a couple good pitchers, but we had a dominant pitcher. You basically have to go and say, okay, I'm going for the county. Right. And that's why a lot of times the bigger schools, I mean, the parochial schools and the bigger schools where they have 2-3 pitchers, maybe even more, that they could finagle back and forth. So, like in softball, it's, hey, she pitches Saturday, she's pitching Sunday, she's pitching Tuesday.
That's a sport-specific problem in baseball.
Yeah, you have to pick.
Basically picking and choosing
what
you're going to
what you're going to try for hard.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Coach Breslin's saying small teams also don't win county championships in Bergen County anymore. Great point. But I don't know. I still like the sound of the state champs.
I do think it just can't. Well, when you think about size too, you're thinking if you win a group championship, it's more schools are encompassed in that group championship that you were the top of.
Right.
Typically, again, coaching in Morris County are. Field hockey, we had a lot. Well, you probably had a lot of teams. How many teams were in Bergen County for baseball? How many teams?
Oh my God! When I was in high school, they actually had it where we had 16 teams. Okay, it was like 16 teams, and it was actually funny because I think we were Group 3, but we were like a smaller Group 3, and we made it to the semifinals. And I'll never forget Paramus Catholic. I want to say Paramus Catholic was like either 16 or they actually had one playing game to get there. They upset the one Rutherford. They wound up winning it by, and again, a great Catholic school, but it was just but now, 16, but that was when I was a senior. Now it's like you could have 30 and they have playing games to get to the tournament. So it's a totally different animal now. There's a lot more people now that are getting in these tournaments. Kenny's saying in Maryland, I would say state because of smaller counties, but in New Jersey, especially Bergen County, I would say county. All right, topic number 2. In this year, there's a shortened season. There's stuff that, has changed. But my question is, if you happen to win a scaled down division championship, okay? Are you still putting a banner in your gym?
Again, this is so hard for me to answer in a black and white manner.
Why?
Well, because I feel like some of the sports have been, like, for example, the spring season is going to do a legitimate kind of state tournament play, but they're outside, they have a longer period of time, they're able to extend it. So in that case, I would. Now, basketball, they weren't able to do anything like that. So what am I going to put a banner for a state banner? If I was able to have conference play and like enough conference play, then maybe for the conference. And we talked about this in football.
But a division, right? There's a division champ.
For a conference, yes. If there was like enough games and there was conference, I think you could do a conference. But if you just had an undefeated season, can I declare myself, when we beat that team, they would have been in our state tournament bracket, then I don't think I can declare myself.
Okay, are you putting
champion.
Will you put so you're not right, you're not like Central Florida where they're just saying they're national champs when they weren't, but do you put a banner, 6-0, 7-0, something like that to recognize that season? I mean, listen, those people want to come back. Those kids want to come back, and they want to see. Hey, we did something special. We went 7-0. There was no state tournament, but I was still 7-0. Like, those kids should have something, shouldn't they?
It's not about the kids not. I don't want to answer that and make it seem like it's not about the kids not having something. Because what about other teams in other years that went undefeated but didn't win a conference and didn't win a state tournament? You didn't recognize their every team is going to have, things that they did well. It's not to take anything away from those kids and what they did and what they played for, that not to commemorate that season. But it's more about, not just making it into something that it's not.
Right, it's not, but again, like, remember in the past where there were no games and people just said you're state champs and you're, whatever you guys were, like way back when, before there was like a state tournament, they just basically, there were writers that said, hey, you're state champs, group one, whatever. So, but this is where there is no tournament. So it's not like, but it's not like the season didn't happen. Like they went undefeated. What if it's the first undefeated? It's possible. What if it's the first undefeated season in the school history?
Now you're adding a caveat. Now you're saying, what if it was the first? Now you're changing your story in typical Kurt fashion. Now you're adding a caveat to it. So if you have your first undefeated season, that might be. I mean, I've seen that in gyms before. But I'm going to be honest. What I like when I go into a gym, right, and you see, I like when it's uniform across all of the sports. There's actually, Montville switched to this right at the end of my tenure there. Each sport had its own little individual banner. It had a conference, a county, and a state, and the years were listed in there. And it's very simple. Not now at West Essex, we had all different banners hanging up. We had some that had, who had retired jerseys, some of the positions that were played, and it was very different, and they were beautiful. But I like the uniform, of it all looks the same, and this is our county, our conference. I just like that. That's just my opinion. Yep.
Kenny's saying it's been a rough year in school, so reward the kids with a banner for sure. Again, I'm not just saying give the banner for nothing, but if they did something, like, hey, if like you're saying, if they definitely, if it's football and you play 6 game schedule. See, again, here's the thing, like, you could have had it where, say there's Wayne Hills, there's Ramapo. Okay, I'm just going to use those two for in general. By the way, Coach Breslin said, I think it's always important to celebrate the accomplishments of student athletes. If they won the conference, I think it should be celebrated. I also like Jen's idea of consistency for all banners. But like, say, again, I know they're not in their league, but all right, Garfield Lodi, they're in the same division. But for some reason, say this year they couldn't play. I know they played, but say they didn't play because of all this situation. Both teams are on the, how do you not say, I'm not going to say you just say we're champs, but I don't know. I like the idea. I just don't think this season was, I don't want to use the word a waste or didn't. It's not like it didn't happen. So, hey, if you guys went 6-0, put a banner in there, 6-0. It doesn't have to say league champs. You're 6-0. All right, last one real quick before we get to our last guest.
But, he's not in just yet, so we don't need to rush.
And this is where I want to hear Coach Breslin's opinion on this one, because I think that with all this going on, I think a lot of schools, him and Coach Breslin, especially in Hawthorne, a lot of times you find the games, and I don't even mean, I mean any games. Like I've been watching Kearney, swimming, ice hockey. It's awesome. All the sports are on. So my question is, should all schools stream games for free going forward? Well, I guess 2-part question. One, just have the option to stream, not the option that they're going to stream the game. And 2, should it be for free, or should they pay, eventually should they pay whatever it is, $3-4 to go, go to a basketball game or wrestling match or whatever, football game, you pay that. What's your thoughts on that?
I find it's interesting because you think of, I wonder what the school expense for doing it now has been, if they have incurred an expense, and if they could maintain that, because I think it's nice for, not just your family, but what about your family who might live in a different part of the country and they can see it, your grandparents,
exactly.
So
older, people who don't want to be out in cold or, get to the games and parking and stuff like that.
So it really, not just in these times or like immediate family members who would have gone were able to see it, but in the future anybody would be able to see it.
Do you think it will hurt though? Like, not hurt, but do you think schools want it where it's a home field advantage? We want our fans there.
Well, I don't think that it is personally. I think if somebody wants to see it live, they're still going to opt to go see it live. Again, coaching my sports, regular season for field hockey and lacrosse, there was no admission, But for basketball, when I coached and played, right? I mean, my poor father had to pay admission from the time I was a freshman in high school all the way through my coaching time. Every time he came to a game.
Wait. How'd the AD not give him what's that called? The pass.
He actually did get a pass one year. But yeah, but again, so, I was coaching sports that really weren't making money, so I don't know how that would, it wouldn't affect those sports. But yes, I do think, whether the booster club is doing it and, but I think it would be a nice, if there's no cost incurred and they're able to do it, I think it's a nice feature.
Now, Coach Breslin
Yes.
saying I would rather have the games free and do advertising to gather funds.
Yep.
You don't make money anyway for the small amount of people that attend. Having the ability to watch the game anywhere for families is great for them to view.
Good.
Totally agree.
Yeah. That's
But
a
I think
very
it's
good
awesome.
point.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like, you come down. I work with the teacher in school. Her kids play hockey, and it's they're playing in certain rinks because everyone doesn't have a hockey rink. So
right.
when she always talks, I'm always like, oh, I want to go. We come home from school, I see it on, I watch the game for a little
Right,
bit. It's
right.
just it's awesome. You get to. We want to start covering everything, but you're a fan, Coach DeRampo, Coach of St. Mary's, we follow Garfield. So, hey, when I'm home watching either college football or at home we're doing whatever, check up on Garfield Lodi, check up on the Rampo game. It's awesome where you can have it, where you can just tune in, because you can't go to every game. I'm going to be realistic.
Of course, yeah.
You just can't do it.
And for a show like ours, it's a nice thing to have. You could, it's archived somewhere or on a website, and you could go, show footage, see how they did in a game, and actually see it rather than have to read a summary.
By the way, I got to
and not
break
be
some
able to get
news. Jenny Hoops did an awesome job with our website, which we're going to try to get up by maybe Thursday, Friday, by this weekend. This weekend, we
yeah.
got some great profiles, but you did a great job on all 3 of our shows.
The other point, you made me forget my other point.
I never make you forget.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. With scouting, you are now, you rely on other coaches. So I don't know how coaches would feel about this. I mean, they do share films through Huddle.
Huddle,
Huddle's made
yeah, of
everything so
course.
easy. But, you used to say yourself how some coaches would kind of, cut things out and do. But, it would make, from a scouting standpoint, you'd have everything at your disposal. You don't have to rely on, outsourcing to get your film. So.
Coach Breslin saying Nikki G and I are looking at the outside Huddle Focus for Football. Great job, Jennifer Mulvaney.
Oh, my maiden name in there.
There you go. No, but I think, I think it's awesome.
All right, we have Coach Gallucci has entered the waiting room. Should we move
Absolutely.
on and let him in? Let's get Coach Gallucci
Before
in
Coach
there.
comes in, Coach is saying schools can make enough with concessions, merchandise, and raffles. Games should be free.
I like that. I agree with that tenfold. Absolutely. All right, let's see if Coach is coming on in here.
Hey guys.
Hey, Coach, your camera is off. Would you be able to turn that on for us?
Sure.
Is that okay with you?
Let's see. I don't know if you want me to turn it on.
Hi, welcome to the show, Coach. Let me introduce you to our audience. We have joining us Coach David Gallucci from the Mount Olive Boys Lacrosse program, which he has been with since its inception in 2005. Also runs the Thunder Club lacrosse team as well. So thanks for joining us, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Coach. We appreciate you coming on.
Did we catch you coming right off the field from somewhere?
Absolutely. But I wouldn't want it any other way.
That's it. That's the dedication we want on the show. No, but Coach, thank you so much for coming on. Like Jen said, you started the program from scratch. Can you explain some ups and downs of building that program? And part 2 of it is, where do you even want to take it going forward?
So let's start with the ups and downs of the program. I mean, I have to say at the beginning, 2005, I was blessed to just have some really fun, awesome kids on the team. We didn't win a lot. We lost. We were in the Iron Hills Conference right from the get-go, and we had a team with no varsity experience, no lacrosse experience. Our first season, I think we were 3-12. Second season, 3-15. But I had a lot of fun. Bless you. I was young at the time too, and not that I'm not young now, but I was right out of not right out of college. I had 2 years at Bailey Ellard High School, but after I was still relatively young. I had a lot of fun with those. We had some really great kids, really great personalities, and there's always ups and downs. You win some, you lose some. I try not to really let that be a guide in my success. As a coach, I try to guide my success by other measures, by my alumni keeping in touch with me and seeing where they're at now in their lives, they're raising families and, contributing to society and, they're good husbands and they're good fathers. And, to me, like that's the up of the up. That's the top for me. It's so great to see that. There's downs. There's obviously there's losses, and sometimes there's trauma, and sometimes there's things that happen in life, and but it's always great to have a family, an extended family like we have at Mount Olive Lacrosse. I keep in touch with our alumni, and they're always interested in what's going on. They're always hanging around practice. Sometimes a little too much. I can't get rid of them. And there was a second part to that question too. I think you were asking where do we want to go?
Yeah, where do you want to go?
I mean, I think I had a 5-year plan. I tell you, the last year, right now, things are so different in the way we have to approach a season that, I'm thinking more about the kids, and their health, their mental health and their physical health and, things that they have to do. And it makes you really think about why do we play sports in the first place? You know what I mean? And, for me, I mean, I've been extremely lucky. Like I said, I have a great coaching staff, guys like Joe Zupko, Sean Buck, that have been with me for, 10 years, 11 years. And they've, now I have Anthony Mosca on staff, which is a great pickup. But like, these are great guys to be around. And whatever happens, whatever we face, it's great to have that extended family that we can, bounce stuff off of. And, I think that's what it's all about, and, and then there's wins and losses. You hope to win more than you lose,
Right.
Coach, you grew up in a coaching family. Your dad, John Gallucci Sr., was a legendary football and lacrosse coach. So I was wondering if you can explain the impact and influence that had on you and maybe even continues to have on you today.
Yeah, first of all, that's a huge compliment. I mean, I played for my father. He's inspired me to be everything I am today. Again, I'm tremendously lucky to be brought up in that household, with my old man as well as my brothers. We were all Division I athletes, and we were extremely lucky in that capacity. And I've pretty much, not only have I learned pretty much everything from him, I mean, so has my coaching staff, so has a lot of other people around me, and talk about football a little bit, because when people mention, my father's name, they think lacrosse a lot, but, playing football back in the day, when I was younger, going to those Montville High School football games, under the lights, and seeing those games, and I just loved it. I mean, that's how I fell in love with sports.
See, I'm on the inside track. It was the Montville. That's what I know about his football.
That's right. It's the Montville connection. I love football. I still love football. Football, for me, shaped me as an individual. In high school, it was, we had a tremendous experience, but lacrosse has always been that sport that I, number one, I guess I was better at, but number two, for whatever reason, I fell in love with it. It was my passion, and, I love watching the game grow, and again, win, lose, or draw, whatever happens, but outside of that, there's so much more to lacrosse in the growth of the sport. And, seeing areas, when I was in high school, there was 57 teams or something like that. I'm sure my old man will probably comment and correct me. But, there was 52, to where it is now, 300 high school teams. I'm the head coach at Mount Olive, which didn't have a program, I grew up in Mount Olive. I went to a different high school so I could play lacrosse. So it's just amazing. And I've made so many great relationships with people, lifelong friends, that because of this game. That's why I've just, followed it for as long as I have. And I love coaching it as much as I do.
Coach, can you give a little preview of this year's team? Mention some of the kids and stuff, whatever you got. I know it's way away.
I'm wondering what kind of answer you're getting from spring coaches on this. I hope I'm not way off, but I mean, you got to consider I haven't been able to be around my kids for 2 years. You know, we had 6 practices last year. We shut down. We weren't allowed near them, and they haven't developed. I mean, maybe they play club ball. Maybe they got a rebounder in their backyard. They haven't developed, and I really don't know what I have, to be honest. I graduated a class of 18 seniors. I have a senior class coming back. I know those kids because they were sophomores. I know all the kids, but I'm talking about knowing them as lacrosse players, strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that. I mean, unless I've seen them play club ball, you know, I know my senior class pretty well. My junior class, with a couple of exceptions, you have to remember, was on a freshman field 2 years ago.
We just had the West Essex girls lacrosse program on, and they happened to have had like 4 freshman contributors. But as we're preparing, my question was, your freshmen at the time are now your juniors, like you're saying. Like you have such a small pool of kids that you're bringing back.
Coach, I want to go off topic real quick. How hard was it last year to tell these kids, like, there's no season? When it was officially, like, I know they were saying at some point, you know, we're going to try, hold off. But when it was like, it's done, how hard was that as a coach to tell these kids, like, you're not playing no more?
You know, without getting too broken up, I'd coached some of those 2020s since they were in like 4th grade, 5th grade. Kids like Yanni Callis, RJ Hanna, John Wiedow. I've coached these kids, Frankie Meow. You know, this, it seems like every once in a while you have a class come by and you're like, this is it. And, you know, for us, it was, 2012, and then it was 2015, and then it was 2018. And our 2020 class was going to be a class where we were like, this is a great group of kids. I mean, I don't know if we're going to win a state championship. It's not really about that. It's that we have a great group of kids, and we're going to have a lot of fun this year. You know, I think we're going to win more than we lose, but we're going to have a lot of fun this year. And, you know, missing out on that experience and having to tell the kids, the worst part about it was I couldn't tell the kids face to face. I had to tell them on like a group meet text message, or, you know, I called some of the seniors. I think I called all the seniors, but, you know, that took like a week or two because I'd have one conversation and I couldn't pick up the phone again.
Yeah.
You know, it was just that hard.
Yeah.
You know,
every time we have this conversation, I again learn something new about like what teams went through,
what happened,
and how they dealt with it. But Coach, if I'm go ahead.
I had some different reactions. You know, I had kids that just broke down, just flat out broke down, and like I just felt like I was there for them as best I could. But at the same time, I was breaking down. You know, it was hard. You had to be strong. And then there were other kids that were like, you know, we had 7 kids go on to play college ball. You know, so we had other kids that were like, we'll get through it. You know, I felt like as a team, the guys relied on each other. You know, we had a banquet, an awesome banquet, great banquet. We only, you know, because of the capacity levels, we only had seniors and coaches. And it was, you know, it was just our way of getting together one more time.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
And we haven't really heard that from that's an awesome idea, awesome to have it. Give the kids their, you know what I'm saying, their due, and like you said, one more thing together as a team.
Coach, if I'm, you know, there's a freshman boys lacrosse player who's starting at Mount Olive High School. What can he expect from the Mount Olive boys program, and what would be expected of him?
A boys freshman lacrosse player starting on the varsity level?
No, just coming into your program. Just playing in your program in general. Varsity, what's it like to be, what can he expect as a Mount Olive High School player in general?
Well, first and foremost, I hope that they're going to have fun their freshman year. You know, now, like I said, I'm very lucky. I have a tremendous freshman coach, and Sean Buck has been my freshman coach for a long time. And they're going to have fun. But, you know, as you know, as a coach yourself, when you get to high school, the commitment level's a little different. You know, it's 6 days a week, and it's, you know, it's a grind. And you're going to work hard. Mount Olive High School, I think we're kind of known for being a very blue collar lacrosse team. We tend to win games in between the restraining lines. We don't outskill a whole lot of people, but we win games out of just grit. Our defensemen are typically, type of kids. They're going to go out, play on an island, and beat on you. We're an old school kind of lacrosse team that, we try to just outwork our opponents every day, and that starts in practice. Every single drill. If you're a freshman coming to Mount Olive, my advice, every single drill you do, you have to do it as hard as you possibly can. Because that's the only way to improve. That's what it's all about. Those are the things where a coach, or when I call down to my freshman coach and I say, hey, got a couple injuries or whatever, what do you got? I might need a kid up here. Those are the things that he's looking at. There's work ethic, but as you also know, it's character too. You know what I mean? Like, we're looking for a locker room guy that, and that starts freshman year, because in rec, there really is that locker room sense really isn't there. You kind of get out of your car, play lacrosse, get in your car.
Right.
When you get to high school, it's a little more like you're together all the time. You're together all the time. You're eating together at lunch. Generally they crash my classroom during lunch and annoy me, but whatever. Like, I love having them in there because it's actually fun, but they like annoying me. But, it's great to see them. You see them in the hallways. They're together in the hallways. They're eating lunch together. After school, they're together. They go to the locker room. They're together. We practice, and then they go back. They're together. I see them out in the town. I stop at the 7-Eleven. There's a group of them together. Sometimes they send me pictures of them up shooting at the high school, and they're all together. And, that's like just that really awesome experience that high school offers, high school sports, and I think it's why, like, you look at colleges and stuff, and even employers these days, like, they're looking for athletes. They're looking for people that can coexist on a team.
Yep.
My last one for you, Coach, like you said before, lacrosse is definitely growing and evolving. Is there any, and again, not that you've been there for a while, we're saying you're old, because we're all young. We're all young. So not taking it down.
It's okay.
No. But you've been there a couple. You've been there a couple of years, because age is only a number. I'm 46. I feel like I'm 30, but that doesn't matter. But is there anything the state or even the NJSIAA can do that, in your opinion, just either to change up the lacrosse, to better the high school lacrosse in Jersey? Anything in your opinion?
How much time you got? I 100% think that there are some things that we do here in New Jersey that disadvantages us when we play interstate. Some of the sanctions and regulations, for example, I can't coach a high school lacrosse player in the fall. Why? I understand why maybe that was true 20, 30 years ago. The whole landscape is different now. And I just, at this point, I think it should be looked at. Things like that, where we're not able to have access to our players. There's I understand there's gray areas, but I think it just needs to be looked at as to when those gray areas are. And I think telling a high school head coach that he can't have access to his player at the end of the day is going to disadvantage the athlete. The more I can develop a player, the better that player is going to be, in my opinion. And that's, maybe people will disagree with me, but these days, every lacrosse coach I know that's a head lacrosse coach is generally affiliated with some club lacrosse program. Mm-hmm. Right? They have their players generally play for their club lacrosse program, and that's, not all of them do. Mount Olive, I have kids play everywhere. Some kids, obviously play Thunder. I just want them to play. I just want the game to grow. That's what I'm about. But, high school head coaches not being able to access their kids, I think it's a disadvantage, and it should be looked at. I think the landscape has changed. People are playing lacrosse all year round. Right. Nothing's going to change that. And I think that's why that was back in the day. I think that's why that was in place. For me, that's a big one. They have like the 365 rule with 8th graders and stuff. There's some really ridiculous rules out there that, in my opinion, stunts the growth of some of the athletes. Freshman teams tend to play on the same day as the varsity team, which means me as a head coach, I can't see my freshmen play most of the time. Again, this is like another thing, you know, and it's a scheduling issue, but you know, little things like that, you know, having done this will be my 19th year coaching high school lacrosse, you know, and just some of the things I've learned that I wish some people would take a look at, you know.
Coach, the last thing I wanted to have you kind of discuss was actually the Thunder lacrosse program. I was fortunate enough in, oh my gosh, I'm going to really date myself now, in 1990, no, we're going to go beyond, earlier than 2000, in 1999 when I started at Montville, your father, you know, took me on as part of the AthEd program, the summer league, and I got to really see Thunder lacrosse like evolve, just like the game is evolving. So I just want to kind of give you, you know, a forum to kind of discuss what Thunder lacrosse is, how it came to be, and what it's all about. Because I always felt so fortunate to be part of a program that I really felt was about bettering the kids as players and giving them a positive experience. So I'm not going to steal your thunder, not to, you know, throw that corny line, but I want to have you kind of talk about the program a little bit.
Yeah, you know, Thunder Lacrosse is expanding, and you know, one of the things we hang our hat on is the quality of our coaching. Not to give a sales pitch, but I think that's very, very important. We have high school head coaches, you know, Morris County, Warren County, Sussex County, and I think it's important that, especially young players, I got two of them in the car with me right now. They're done with their lacrosse practice. Actually, they just hopped in here. And I think it's important that they're receiving quality coaching, you know, and it's more than just it's more than just roll a ball and you're going to go practice with your team. You know, it's more than that. It's training. And, you know, and with Thunder, our kids train as part of tuition. I mean, they train 3 days a week. They can train Wednesday, they can train Thursday, they can train Sunday, and they can work that with, you know, within their schedule. And I think the training component is so important, you know, that not only are they receiving the training, that there's a place to go do that, but also that you're you know, receiving quality training by guys that have been doing this for a very long time. The majority of my coaches at Thunder have been with me like more than 6, 7, 8 years. I've guys that have with me, you know, 10 years, 11 years. And, you know, there's a lot of great club lacrosse programs out there, you know, and that's another great thing that's been happening with the sport. Is as time has evolved, you know, like back in the day, Jenna, like there wasn't a lot of programs out there. There wasn't a lot of travel programs out there, you know. Right. When AthEd was started in '92, there was really nothing else going on.
Well, our first, we pulled, for the girls' side, we actually pulled kids from the summer league and make like an impromptu team to like just take to our first tournament. I mean, that was like it's infancy, you know. It's like crazy how it's evolved. Yeah.
That's how it all started. That's how it all, yeah, absolutely. We traveled in our AthEd pennies.
Yep.
And that's how it all started. We were kind of paving the way in some regards, but now you have. You know, kids have such opportunities. You don't have to be the elite of the elite to make a club lacrosse team. You know, there's a lot of programs out there that do a good job. And, you know, I have a lot of competitors out there that I talk to every day and, you know, I have a lot of respect for, you know. And we all believe in the same thing and growing the game, you know, and making the community, you know, a better place for lacrosse players, making it, you know, the game more accessible to lacrosse players, I should say. You know, so there's so many opportunities out there right now for kids to follow their passion all year round. You know, and believe it or not, I'm not a guy that says you should play lacrosse all year round. You know, I'm not one of those guys, you know, who says you should play lacrosse all year round. I got my kids in the car, they play hockey, they play lacrosse. I tell high school kids they should play multiple sports. You know, if you're playing football, go play football this fall. You know, keep a stick in your hand on a Sunday, you know.
Right.
Go hit the rebounder, meet your buddy up at the field, throw around, you know, be smart, don't get hurt. But, you know, go play football. If you're a wrestler in the winter, go wrestle. Like, good luck, man. Like, one thing I know about wrestlers is you're ready for the lacrosse season. You're going to be in shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, basketball players, hockey players. You know, I always say basketball players make great defensemen.
Agree,
hockey
100%.
Players make great attackmen, right, Ron? I got all my kids are hockey defensemen, and they all play lacrosse. They're all attackmen. That's how that works. but I mean, I encourage them, play other sports, run track. You got nothing to do this fall, run track, run cross country. It's so good for you. There's so many opportunities for these kids to get involved and, follow their passion. We got like EA Sports and stuff now happening. You got that going on. EA Sports leagues, and now Rocket League competitions and stuff with the video games. There's so many things to get involved in. And, these days where I think kids are just obviously craving that networking, and craving the togetherness and the team play. And we're at a time now where they just need to be around each other. Whatever you got, whatever you can do, do it. Anything that's going to look on your resume, in my opinion.
All right, Coach, our last little bit with you is something we call rapid fire. So we have a couple quick questions we're just going to fire at you.
That sounds fun.
All right, here we go. Your favorite athlete of all time?
Wayne Gretzky.
Okay, and you said you're a big football fan. Who's your favorite football team?
I'm a Giants fan,
okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay. So are you all in with Danny Dimes? You like him or no?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
No commitment here.
Non-committal.
I like that.
I like the direction of the team right now. I like the direction of the team. So
all right, and
we'll see. It's a growing process.
My last question about football, but because a couple people when we do our high school sports shows who were big Giant fans were not on board with Joe Judge. Were you on board with Joe Judge? And now after a year, what do you think of Joe Judge?
I'm not gonna. I don't have an opinion on it.
Okay.
To be honest, don't know. Yeah. I'll be honest. I haven't really followed NFL football. I haven't really followed it in a while.
You're too busy with lacrosse.
There you go.
I mean, a big part of it is Sundays. I'm doing lacrosse, and the other part of it is the Giants just aren't very good.
Right.
And I just haven't. I watch a lot of. I watch college football, but my boys we're always watching Devils games.
There you go.
In our household, and Devils games and NASCAR races.
There you go.
Usually are. Yeah, we're wondering who won the Devils game, actually, if you have that.
I'll have to find that out for you while Jen asks your
I'll
next
give you this
question.
one. I'm sure he'll have the answer. So
my kids are asking.
My parents actually moved to Flanders about 4 years ago. So I'm wondering if you could tell, is there a hidden gem of an eatery that they need to check out? Something that would be a little off the beaten path for them?
We're
all about food on this show.
Yeah, we got some good places.
You're talking to the right guy. There's a sandwich shop. Across the lake. I think it's called BJ's. I could be wrong. It might be called. It might be another 2 letters. Maybe someone can comment and tell me the right name. But they make a great sandwich. I hope the place is still around. I used to go there back in the day. I'm pretty sure it is. I think it's called the BJ Sandwich Shop. It's right across from the lakes on Route 46.
Okay. All right. I know what you're talking about.
Enzo's Pizzeria. So it's down by Sand Shore Road. Everyone argues in Mount Olive who's got the best pizza, who's got the best this. Enzo's is delicious. It's very, very good. I like their pizza. You got some pizzerias that are good at pizza and others that are good at dishes and stuff. Like Dino's does a great dish, Enzo's, I think, is all across the board quality stuff. No matter what you get, you're in the mood for like ziti, meatball sub.
It's got to go on our list.
Yep, absolutely. My dad might be watching, so he might be making mental notes.
Yeah, going out tomorrow to Enzo's.
I'll plug one more place. You got to check out Jersey Girl Brewery if you haven't checked that out yet. They make
that one. Yeah, all right, good to know.
So Jersey Girl Brewery, they make some really good beers.
Okay.
If you're a beer drinker, my favorite is the Rake Breaker. I know the guy that owns it. And I always tell him it's a Rake Breaker. The story of Rake Breaker, how that actually happens. This is a pretty cool story. It's on the bottle. You should read it. If you like an IPA, Rake Breaker's a good one. Mo Pilsner's a great beer. They got some good ones.
Nice. Very
okay.
Nice.
Little breaking news here. The Devils are down 1-0 to the Islanders with 14 minutes in the third. So just to give you an update.
There's still time.
Just to give you a lot of time. All right. What was your biggest win as a coach?
My biggest win as a coach was probably against West Morris in the quarterfinals of the state tournament. It was the first and only time we'd ever seen them in the state tournament. We were losing 6-1 at the end of the first quarter, and we won 13-12. we had 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. We had a 1-goal lead, and we pulled off a 7-minute and 30-second stall.
Oh my gosh.
Keep it in the box stall.
Yeah.
And then we ended up losing the ball. They got the ball with a minute and a half. They were a great team. They had some great players on that team. So did we. And they got the ball. They got it down in our end. And one of our D-mids, our short stick D-mids, stripped the player of the ball. We ended up picking it up, calling timeout. We ended up winning. That was a really big win. That one I'll probably remember for a long time. A couple of those kids that played in that game for us are actually now coaching in my youth organization.
Oh, nice.
Which, it's like one of those full circle, things that kind of are, you look at, yours is really cool. I would say that.
All right, and then the second part of that question, I gotta ask you. Toughest loss.
So there's a lot to choose from.
That's what everybody says on this show.
You hate to lose in the state finals. You hate to lose in the state finals. 2018 Northern Highlands, they just had a great team. And not to take anything away from them, they were a fantastic team. But I wish we could play that game again. And for us, it was 2 days after prom, which I've never won a game after prom.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's really hard. You don't want to tell the kids they can't go to prom. You're not going to do that. They go to prom.
Yeah.
And then, we had a day of rest, and then we played Saturday morning. And, I wish we could replay that game, and I don't know if we would have won it. I don't think so. I think that Northern Highlands team was pretty good, but I think it would have been a much better game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Coach, you had mentioned, we talked about your father, who I know personally as well. You mentioned your brother is all Division I athletes. So my question is, who is the most competitive out of you guys?
Out of this includes my father?
Yep, including your father. Yep.
I'm pretty sure my old man is the most competitive of all of us. There's not a doubt. If I had to go with a second choice, I think that's the obvious choice. If I had to go a second choice, I'd say my brother Jay. My brother Jason, pretty competitive guy. But he's the type of dude that he's really competitive, but he doesn't talk about it. You know what I mean? He doesn't talk about it.
Yeah, quiet competitive. Yeah.
But he was a linebacker at Penn State. But, the things he's down working at Princeton University now, and he's probably one of the hardest working people I know. So.
Okay, and my last one's an easy one: Under Armour, Nike, or Adidas?
Under Armour for me, no doubt.
Okay.
All right, and my last one is, you can hang a quote on the locker room wall for your team to see each day. What is it that you're hanging up there?
To be successful, you must be let me think about this for a second. In order to be successful, you must have an image of success at all times.
Nice, very nice. All right, Coach, that's the end of our rapid fire session. We want to thank you for coming on tonight. Really appreciate you taking the time. You had two little co-hosts there in the back that were so good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see them.
A little bit.
You see, they're kind of.
Good luck, guys. Good luck with your Devils tonight.
They'll need it.
You're probably gonna lose.
No. Don't give up the hope, sir.
Have faith.
Wait. I don't want to do this because you guys never come back on the show. It's 2-0 Islanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
So,
Let me guess, Barzell.
no.
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 right.
Wait, I don't think so. Hold, is it? No.
All right, and Coach,
Well,
best of
that
luck.
was a losing. I'm calling it. That was a losing. Calling it.
Best of luck
Yeah,
to you
he's
this season.
Daddy's called the game already. They don't.
There you go.
Best of luck to you, and if we had a chance, we'd love to catch up with you as the season's going on and see how you're doing.
Sounds great. It's good to see you
Absolutely.
again.
Thank you,
too.
Coach.
Good luck. Thanks for coming
All
on.
right. See you guys.
Good night.
Okay, great interview with
Yeah,
Coach.
Coach Gallucci, absolutely.
Coach Browson saying good luck, great job. And that was a fun show tonight.
Yep, very good stuff.
Couple
very
great
good stuff. Yep.
Couple great guests.
We got the spring season upon us, so getting into that swing of lacrosse a little bit.
And next week we got a bunch of people we're going to squeeze in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully,
yep,
that reached
lining
out, they want to get them up,
get
and
them on.
That's it. The topics, I love the topics tonight. Some great little get fired up. You and I get some debates. We always follow and see where Coach Breslin wants to go, how his answers are. You know?
Of course, well, he always has such good commentary to add.
Of course.
Yep, very knowledgeable. Real quick, our picks from last week.
Go ahead.
We didn't
Sure,
go
go
over.
ahead.
So we had.
Do we have records?
We do. Kurt, we had 5 games that we picked. 1 did not get played. So Lodi was defeated by Garfield. We had both picked Lodi. West Essex beat Nutley. We had both picked West Essex. Saddlebrook lost to Elmwood Park. We had both picked Elmwood Park. And the one deciding factor was the Montville-Mars Catholic game. You picked Mars Catholic. I picked Montville. And I'm sorry, I had that reverse. I picked Mars Catholic. You had Montville. See, it just is natural for me to say Montville.
Don't take that credit.
I know, it's hard. It was a hard thing to pick against them, but they were victorious. They crushed a really talented Mars Catholic team. So yeah,
I got the twins.
So
I got the Vito twins on my side. Don't worry about that.
So you are.
I'm not going against the Vito twins.
You
are crazy?
2-2, and I am 1-3. So
Coach Breslin saying thank you, Kenny. Thank you. Wait, thank you, Kenny. Looks like Kurt is still cold. Actually, I'm warming up a little bit.
Oh, just in time for the end of the show. So thank you everybody for watching. And I hope to see you guys next week.
We'll see you guys next week. Enjoy the nice weather coming tomorrow in the 50s. See you guys tomorrow.